just finished at my mom's house. I took, for those who don't know, I am my mother's caregiver. She has Alzheimer's. She was diagnosed many years ago. I've been taking care of her for a very long time. Just recently, we got a new caregiver, and that person comes 2 times a week. She helps me so much. Her name's Rashika, and I appreciate her more than words. So I was coming out here to get in my car to leave, and one of the ladies who lives here, elderly lady, her name is Sally, so she came to talk with me, and she told me I brightened her day. So she opened up her trunk, there we go, and she asked if I wanted an ice cream bar, and I said yes. So anyway, there's my ice cream bar from Sally. She brightened my day too. These people that live here, these elderly people, are so kind and so sweet. And my mom's been here about 17 years, 16 years. I've lost track. And I know all of them, every single one of them. More to come, because not too long ago, I talked with you about how my mom needs to move as her Alzheimer's is progressing, and we are looking at places again. So hopefully soon we're going to find something that's going to work for her. She doesn't want to move. She says she will never move. So this is going to be challenging, isn't it? Wish me luck. So it's the next day now. I wanted to continue talking about my mom, a little bit about dementia. My mom, dementia is like the umbrella, and underneath are things like Parkinson's dementia, Alzheimer's, Lewy body dementia, vascular dementia, and others. So my mom, in case you don't know, is 88 years old. I've made quite a few videos about being her caregiver and about Alzheimer's in general. We're at a severe stage now, and it depends on where you go. I noticed if you're talking to your internal medicine doctor, or you're talking to your, geriatric psychiatrist, which we've seen, or you're talking to a geriatrician, they don't seem to rely too much on the stages. You'll read stages up to 8 stages. That's what I've read about, but none of them have really talked about the stages. They've kept it at mild, moderate, or severe. Oh, you see my cat? His name's Kevin. And Kevin loves my dog Noah. And those of you who watch my videos know that. Hang on, let me try to turn this around here. Okay, I think I was saying that the doctors really have been referring to my mom's Alzheimer's as early, mid, late. And she is really between mid and late, and that's the reason I think why they don't always use it. Even like the 6th stage has 6A, B, C, D. There are just so many pieces and parts to it, and they can cross over, and what you might see in late stage, the rest of your symptoms are moderate. I mean, it's really unusual, so you can't always just rely on that. So again, my mom's 88. She was diagnosed, I couldn't tell you, 7, 8, 9 years ago. Doesn't everything sort of blend in? Somewhere around there. She was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. Prior to that, it was dementia and early cognitive decline prior to that. And when I think back, there were symptoms. I mean, we saw things. And what I'm seeing now, I wanted to share with you. And if somebody is experiencing this or has seen this with a loved one, I would sure love to talk with you about it, because for how common Alzheimer's is, and how many people come forward to talk to you, at work or church or down the street, or they just say, oh, my dad was diagnosed with, or my uncle's friend, or my cousin, or everybody knows somebody. But I have not heard of this. Nobody told me she's going to start hallucinating and having delusions. I didn't know this. Remember, my specialty is pediatrics, although I do I have adult patients as well, but nobody's ever said, my dad has Alzheimer's and now he's in the stage of delusions. Listen to the stuff that he thinks. Now, I realize there are some things like we hear a lot about my mom always wanting to go home. She just wants to go home. But I'm talking about where my mom absolutely thinks that she's seeing what is not there. So with hallucinations, it's where you are believing something that is not existing. With those with Alzheimer's, they talk about hallucinations as a sensory misinterpretation, and that Alzheimer's patients can actually see, feel, hear, and taste things that really aren't there. They are having this hallucination. And then with delusions, they are described as fixed false beliefs. So my mother is experiencing both of these. Now, they're not on a daily basis. Will it get worse? Could somebody tell me? I would love to know. Will it get worse, or does it plateau? Is it still just intermittent and occasionally like what we're seeing now? Maybe once a week will go by, nothing. The next week, a couple different things. She's aware of the most of this, not all of it. All right, so let me give you some examples. Oh, I wanted to say something too. Remember when I was doing a video and I was leaving my mom's after I took care of her for the day, and her neighbor, Miss June, came and followed me to my car and told me, you better do something about your mom, and just, I've had enough of her, and, she's deaf, and, she shouldn't be here. That was, again, something I guess I never really thought about. My mom has lived there for over 15 years. One of the oldest people and longest people who've lived there. I didn't realize that I had to think about that some of her neighbors and or friends are going to not like her anymore. That one really threw me, that they don't want her to be around them. They're uncomfortable and they're angry with me that I don't force her into a facility. That could be a whole nother video. We're getting closer. But in my state of Washington, you cannot pick somebody up and shove them in your car and drop them off. You can't drop them off at the ER. You can't insist that a long-term care or a memory care facility takes them. They have to walk through the door. And if they are screaming and yelling, no, I do not want to go, you cannot physically force them. Now, I have heard that other states like Illinois, where her geriatric psychiatrist is from, who said, when things get bad, we just off they go. You don't wait for them to think that they are ready to go now. Anyway, yes, I've already seen an elder care attorney, and I've already talked to the physicians at length. So what do? You bring the help to that person. And the problem with my mother is she only wants me to be that person. She only wants me to help her. She doesn't even see she needs any help. She doesn't see what my problem is for telling her she hasn't showered in 2 weeks and insisting that she get in the shower. It's just always an argument. Every single thing is an argument. A drink of water is an argument. Putting on socks is an argument. When it's summer and she wants to wear sweats, she already doesn't drink enough water unless I force her or make it. Anyway, everything's an argument. Let me just say that. You have to really work hard around her and get the right caregiver if you get to have one that stays, or one that your loved one, like my mother, allows to stay. They have to really know how to work with people with Alzheimer's. They have to have the patience and the wherewithal and the understanding of what's going on and how to gently get that person to do the things you want them to do when they're going to resist every single inch of the way. Okay, sorry, I digress. Now let's talk about what's happening recently and more frequently. My mom started with an unusual symptom when I brought her back from the emergency room and I got her to my house to stay for a few days. Within the second day or so, she thought she was in her apartment. And it wasn't just like, you wake up in a hotel and you're like, where am I? Oh, I'm not at home. It feels funny, that sort of thing. But she really thought she saw all her own furniture. She thought that my pets, my dog, was her dog, and asked me not to tell her landlord, because she lives in an apartment. When my cat walked into the kitchen, my mom said, oh, I forgot that I got that cat. I forgot about that one too. When did I get that cat? When I asked her, look around, Mom, does this look like your apartment? And she looked around my house and said, yes, these are my things. Why do you ask? At the very beginning, I tried to reorient her, oh, no, Mom, this is my house. You're just staying with me for a little while. But as time went on, as each hour went on, she absolutely thought that she was seeing her own house. So I didn't discuss it with her anymore. I went along with it. No, I won't tell your landlord that you have pets. And yes, I'm glad that you're comfortable in your own place. She even asked me when I was done making dinner when I was going home to my house. But anyway, so that was the first time that it was that specific. Other than periodically, my mom would think that her sister was visiting her apartment. So I guess I'm wrong. That really wasn't the first true specific time, because she's been fixated off and on for quite a while about her sister is coming to see her, visit her. And I have a camera in my mom's apartment, or I should say my sisters and I have a couple cameras in her apartment, so we can watch her basically for safety. Did she fall down? Do we need to check on her? Nobody can be there 24 hours a day. I'm there a lot. The new caregiver is there 2 days a week. But anyway, my mom has actually opened her door and said, I see my sister's car. My sister's car is out there. She's coming to spend the night with me. And I would look on her video and see that she has tidied up. And she has, at 10 or 11 p.m., done things that I know aren't her norm, that I'm seeing her do, which told me again, oh, she's confused. She thinks that her sister's coming. So I would call her, reorient her. Mom, what are you doing? Well, I'm waiting for my sister to come over. She's visiting my neighbors. It's dark out though, Mom. It is nighttime. Aunt Maria is not, she's my aunt, your sister is not coming. She's at her own house. And my mom would believe me at that point. She is? Well, why did I think that? I saw her car. No, don't open your door again. But when we would hang up, it would start over again. And so then I would call her back and reorient her. And we would do that several times throughout the night on the bad nights. And then there might be a month or longer that would go before I would see that again. That was the only thing that I had brought up to the doctor a few months ago. What was her answer? I don't even remember what her answer was. It was so vague. It was before this geriatric Alzheimer's specialist. I saw the geriatric psychiatrist who specialized in Alzheimer's, and his answer to me always was, that's just the disease. That's just the progress of the disease. I wanted more answers. So what are these other symptoms that my mom has been experiencing that are new? This is really unusual. And again, I'm reaching out to you all. Can you help me with this? I don't want the doctor to continue to tell me this is just her disease process, and as usual, she needs to live with somebody. I realize this is the disease process, but here's what ticks me off, guys, is that why is it if somebody has pancreatic cancer, lung cancer, breast cancer, someone has a new diagnosis of a head injury, even if you go in and have surgery on any part of your body, you're going to get some kind of a care plan. You're going to get an idea of what to expect, what happens after the procedure, for example, how to rehab afterwards, or your mom has Alzheimer's. Here are the stages, let's go over them, or here are the mild, moderate, severe areas that tend to happen. And here is something you might see. Don't be alarmed. If your mom thinks that her mother just died in her apartment, I don't want you to be alarmed. Well, that's what she's doing. But I would like to have some sort of a care plan of how we're going forward. I realize the doctors always want her to be in a facility. I realize they want somebody to be there every single day, and that's their answer. But what about this thing now where she thinks that her mother just died, and she goes through all the emotions of being so upset and so traumatized over her mom keeps dying? That's what she's thinking is happening. And she thinks that she's in her mother's apartment. Again, this is not every single day. This just came out of the blue. But she had the wherewithal, thankfully. She has this book where she has our phone numbers, and she called my sister and said, I'm very upset. I'm very upset. Carrie said, what's wrong, Mom? Well, my mother died. I don't know what to do. My mother just died. So Carrie reoriented her and talked to her quite a bit. And, you got to be calm. So just calm and reorientation. Don't go along with it as far as, well, your mother just died in your apartment. Yeah, she did. No, and the reason I say that kind of snarky is because you're going to hear that a lot. At least I hear that a lot. Just go along with everything your mom says. Just tell her it's all true. If she hallucinates, tell her it's really there. But time has gone on, and that all settled down, and weeks go by, and then it happened again. So it's kind of like a new fixation that her mother has died, and she relives this. And her mother has died in that apartment, and she's very distraught over this. It is so sad, and it is true that with somebody with Alzheimer's, it isn't about just that they're forgetful or just that they repeat things. When my mom repeats things, which she does, she repeats the same, say, 3 questions about every 3 minutes. So if you're there for 4, 5, 6 hours with her, you're going to hear the exact same 3 questions every 2-3 minutes the entire time that you're there. You're going to answer that exact same thing over and over again. Put her in the car, we're going to go to whatever. Usually it's just to her sister's house every month or so because we all have dinner together, and the entire drive for 1 hour to her sister's house are the same questions, which revolve around, was I supposed to bring something? I feel like I'm forgetting something. Was I supposed to cook something? Was I supposed to bring something? And that goes on the entire 1 hour drive. But it's not just about that. When you're talking about active hallucinations or delusions or really true fixed beliefs, she's believing that her mother is dying in her apartment or died, and she was calling us to say, what do I do? So she has since called, Carrie that time. She's called me. She's called Carrie again. She's called me again. So it's happened a few more times. Yes, I have another doctor appointment. And we don't just go to some willy-nilly place. We're up in Seattle at the Brain Wellness Clinic at Harborview Medical Center. I don't know where else to go. I suppose I could take her somewhere else. It's not easy to take somebody who's that unwell an hour and a half or two in traffic, one going down I-5 to get to Seattle. And she's confused as to why we're going. She is very upset in the doctor appointments with the social worker and physician because she thinks that they are just full of shit, and she doesn't know why everybody's doing this to her. Again, more distress. Just let me live my life. She says that all the time. Just let me live my life. Let me just live in my apartment. Just leave me alone. Why are you making me move? Why do you feel that I'm this bad? What have I done wrong? Gonna hear those things. It's so hard. Isn't Alzheimer's just such a cruel thing? I don't know any other way to explain it. How much worse? I understand the very end because the very end of life looks kind of the same. The different types of dementia look the same at the end. We're not there yet, but what in the world is all this stuff that's happening now? It is just a really cruel illness. So if anybody else has a loved one that has these symptoms, the other symptoms at this stage might be loss of appetite, weight loss, maybe wandering. She doesn't wander off. She's, less ability to communicate. My mom is not that. She communicates and can talk. She would, if she sat out here with me, which she has many times, she will talk the entire time, although it's all the same thing. But she doesn't, she's living it like she just asked it. Tell me about the boys again. What? Josh lives in California. Does he love it? Is he going to move back? And back to what are the boys doing again? But those other symptoms, yes, my mom has, but these are the new symptoms that I'm wondering if anybody can help me with. Just in case you're wondering, there are no triggers that my sister and I can identify. There is nothing that's happened before she feels that her mother has died or her sister is visiting. We don't see any of it. I don't know. Did she nap, fall asleep? She sleeps a lot. Did something wake her? Did she hear something? Did she dream something? What is the trigger? I don't know. She hasn't had any new medication in, probably a year and a half, 2 years. She was on, I believe it was Remeron for a while for weight gain and appetite, for her appetite to increase. It helped with both of those things, but it made her delusions way worse. So I just blamed those delusions on the medication, and when we stopped it, those delusions went away. Those delusions while in Remeron were really interesting because she was thinking that somebody was breaking into her apartment and that she needed to call the police. So what do we do at this point? Well, what I do is my sisters and I, give her very calm reassurance because she's already distressed. We reorient her that she's safely in her own apartment. We go over there. She doesn't ever want to stay here. She wants her own small space because her whole life has become a living room. She stopped sleeping in her bedroom years ago. So that's what she wants, and that's what her safety is. And you see how incredibly, almost cruel it would even be to already have these symptoms and then move her to a facility where she's completely disoriented. Nobody and nothing is around her that she knows. She doesn't have that space of the living room that she loves and lives for and has been in for 17 or so years. We're just going to pluck her out of there and we're going to get her into the other place. And remember, the memory at this point is a minute long, maybe. So if you can explain all you want why we're going here, Mom, why this is necessary. She has resisted even looking at places anyway. She doesn't want to move. We, if we move her, are forcing her to move. Okay, your question, can't she move in with you? Well, she's been at my house many times where she has stayed. Probably by day 3, she absolutely just cannot do it anymore. She wants to go home. None of this is, I don't have an answer. There's my answer. I always say that, you know, in your life when you're younger and you're sharper and you think you know it all and you have more confidence and you're like, I got answers for that. I know the answer. I'm going to look the answer. I have no answers for this. I have no idea what we're navigating through. I had no idea I was even going to see what I'm seeing now. I would have been better prepared. So I want to prepare you. Okay. If you see these things, apparently this is just part of the brain disease, but it'd be nice to know that it might be coming your way. So please comment below and let me know what is working for you with your loved one, what you have found that has been helpful, what hasn't been helpful. And since we're at this point of transitioning into a facility that can give her more care, and she's 100% resisting with all her might and soul, tell me how you've done it. I would really love your input. See you at the next video.